So here we are in Montego Bay, Jamaica, invading the island for Christ. I'm sitting here with the one, the only Lecrae, man. Now this is one sold out soldier for Christ. How you doing, man?
I'm wonderful.
Yeah?
Yes.
Tell me what you're doing here.
I'm here to be a light in a dark world. You know, I'm here to use my gifts and talents to articulate how valuable Jesus is and to share his wonderful gospel.
Well, you know, you go everywhere. You go all over the world now.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just a small town boy from Denton, Texas, right? Right in my own hometown.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in Denton.
Yeah, and you know, I got to tell you, I guess the last time I saw you was over at the clubhouse for Denton Bible.
Right.
Right, and we had a great conversation. And I tell you, when I came out of it, I said, that is one amazing sold out brother for the Lord.
Wow.
Has that changed?
Not at all. As a matter of fact, my passion's only increased. You know, as you travel more, you see more. You see, you know, a greater need for the gospel. You see a greater need for truth to be articulated. And so, you know, and you see a greater need for the gospel in your own life because everyone wants to clap their hands and give you glory when you know you don't deserve it, and Jesus does.
So how do you stay humble?
It's a pursuit. It's a constant pursuit of humility. It's constant looking at the person of God and how incredible he is, and knowing that how disgusted and frail I was, and yet and still he saved me, and so that just says, you know what, Lecrae, he did this, not you. So stay humble.
And so he put you on this platform.
Yeah.
And you know, you got all these fans, you got all these people buying your CDs,
right.
You know, coming to your concerts,
right.
Clapping, and I mean, how do you work through that? I mean, I know it's a process, but I mean, have you found some biblical key or solution that really kind of keeps you grounded from getting too big ahead?
Yeah, I think mostly it's really looking in the book of Isaiah. I look in the book of Isaiah, and you get to see kind of God's
And you don't want to walk around naked? Is that
No.
No. So you look at Isaiah.
But looking at Isaiah and looking at, you know, God talk about himself and how awesome he is, looking at David as he writes in the Psalms about this great God that he serves, and holding on to those pictures of God in the scriptures allow you to recognize that he is the center of attention, that this is about him, and that I'm just privileged to play a part in his story, ultimately.
Now you can go anywhere, you can do anything, you can have anything.
Yeah.
Next to being saved yourself, what's the best thing you ever seen?
Next to being saved myself, the best thing I've ever seen?
Or experienced, yeah.
Well, I mean, my wife would kill me if I said not getting married to her. But
yeah, you were married last time we talked.
Yeah. So, you know, definitely, you know, getting married. But then, of course, seeing people not only profess Christ, like turn from their sin and come to Jesus, but to actually see them fleshing that out year after year, it's just, it does something to you. It makes sharing your faith contagious, you know.
So there's a lot of lazy, lukewarm Christians sitting on the couch tonight that are going to be watching this.
Sure.
What words of wisdom, what advice would you give them?
I would say one thing, a question I would ask is, if you're not sharing your faith, there must be something about it you don't believe. You know, if there's something about the gospel you don't believe if you're not telling other people about it, because it's miraculous. It opens the eyes of the blind. It makes people who are dead to God alive. And so if you don't believe that, you're not going to share it. And if you don't believe that that's happened for you, then you're not going to spread that as well.
Well, that's true too, because you talk about what you love. If
Absolutely.
you love football, you're going to talk about football.
Absolutely.
If you love women, you're going to talk about women. If you love your kids, you're going to talk about your kids. Right. So if you love the Lord,
you're going to talk about
You're going to talk about the Lord.
Absolutely.
Well, I tell you what, of all the things you've seen so far right here in Jamaica, I mean, you are literally right now part of world history. This is the world's largest missions trip.
Wow.
In the history of preaching the gospel. 3,000 Christians invading an island for Christ. How does that make you feel to be a part of that?
You know what? It's encouraging to know that I'm a part of something bigger. You know, First Peter says that we're, you know, a royal priesthood. We're this chosen nation. We're this one people. And even though we don't see things eye to eye, and everybody doesn't agree on all these things, we're related and we're family, and we have a common mission, and that is to preach the gospel to the ends of the earth. And so it's a blessing to be able to do that with my family members.
And you know what that reminds me of? Daniel 12:3. It says, talking about the last days, which most Christians believe. We look around, we see the news, we see the craziness going on in the world. We say, wow, Jesus, come quickly, Lord, right? We just sense it. We see it, we know it.
Yeah.
We don't know the hour of the day, but we can see the seasons surrounding it. And he says, in those last days, those who are wise will shine like the brightness of the heavens, and those who lead many to righteousness like the stars forever and ever. So that makes you, I guess, a sanctified seed-sowing superstar. Chasing after hard-hearted, self-righteous sinners.
Man, are you rapping right
I think
now?
I'm rapping with you.
What's happening?
Well, we love you,
Awesome.
man. Could you do one more thing for me?
Sure.
Could you just say, I'm Lecrae, and you're at the prayer stop?